Alrighty, that should be back and working now, hopefully. Hello everyone, welcome to Sinful Gaming. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all staying safe. We've just got to send out a new buzz with the updated show. We just had a few little difficulties. Don't want to work, but I hope everyone's been well. Alright, so this should all be working now. We are currently waiting the Warhammer reveal show for Warhammer Day, and we're going to be working on some Lumineth Sentinels. Thought about time that I get my Lumineth actually done. But hello to everyone that is in the chat. Apologies about the other little hiccup on the thing, but we will get there. So, if you're joining us, let us know what hobby you've been working on, what hobby you've got to get done, and what you want to see in the reveal shows tonight as well. Try and put in the colours. Alrighty, enough of that. Unpleasantries, but gotta love when people decide to try and be funny. So, hope everyone is doing well. Currently starting to get the base colour done for all the wood, which is going to be like a really pale white. Essentially doing a like winter themed Lumineth scheme. if you're doing some hobby, or what are you wanting to see in the new review shows that are coming up tonight, let us know what you're all up to or what you're looking forward to seeing. Certainly getting some interesting people in the chat tonight. Never bother. People just bored and got nothing better to do. Yeah. Gloveworks, it's going well. Yourself? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I just had to deal with a few little unpleasantries of someone popping on and writing things that shouldn't be written on the internet, but they are what they are. But we're doing well. We're painting some Lumineth in anticipation for the reveal show tonight on what we're going to possibly see. But you're working on any hobby at the moment? Project Tech Night, it's going well yourself. Hope you're doing well. We're currently just getting the last of my layers down on the Sentinels before we can apply some washes, and then I've got some work to do on a unit of Venari Oral and Wardens that are coming along nicely as well. Nice. What hobby are you working on at the moment, mate? Nice. Oh, awesome. Darth Vader box for some Shatterpoint. Do have to get into Shatterpoint at some point. We've got Marvel Crisis Protocol from Atomic Mass. One of those on the periphery of things I've got to go and try out at some point. Apologies if there's a apologies to anyone watching if you see a few vulgar comments pop up. We've had a couple of people pop in and be rather unpleasant, but you know what, we're not going to let them get to us. Trying to deal with them as I see them. Got any recommendations for brothers? Yours are on their last legs. Honestly, I find I go through brushes relatively quickly. I'm not the best with brush care. I do like the Army Painter ones, definitely seem to get a good bit of life. I got these Vallejo ones recently, these have had a good showing. Honestly, I'm not great with brush care. I'm generally trying to finish things too quickly and the stop-start nature of being a dad means that sometimes they just get trashed because I have to stop-start while painting, while the kids get a hold of them, which is always the worst. Yeah, the Vallejo ones were nice. Right, and they're still going well. I've painted a couple of armies with them, and they're still kicking about. So that's a good shout, I guess. What's up? We're just painting some Warhammer. Painting some Lumineth, waiting for a reveal show to start for some extra work. Yeah, Project Tech Night. Looking at the Warhammer review shows, if there's anything you're thinking you want to see that would interest you tonight at all? Ooh, Black Templar, yeah. I became a Black Templar. Unfortunately, I don't think Old World is getting reveals tonight. I'm pretty sure it's 40k, AOS, Imperialis, Kill Team, and Underworld. Underworld I'm really interested in because we sort of don't know what's happening with that currently. I think that's one of the most interesting. I mean, I love my Black Templars. I've got a Black Templar army I've got to paint, so would love to see some Black Templars. Get some love. It certainly gets me off my butt in painting them. You know what I'd love to see for Black Templars? I'd love to see like Terminator versions of like Sword Brethren. I think would be an awesome thing with Black Templars. funny, like finally painting up my Lumineth. I've literally had all the Lumineth, every model from the range I've got, and I've had since it's all come out. Finally now just getting into my Lumineth army. So it's been fun though. I'm definitely on a bit of a painting roll at the moment. I finished up a Gnome Blood Bowl team, a Rohan force, some other things, some Space Marine Terminators I finished the other day, some Blood Drink. I've just got to do the chapter symbol and finish the basing, but where are we? Some Blood Drink Assault Terminators. And I also finished a new force for Bot War, which we'll have some games for up on the channel soon as well. Lumineth, one of those armies I was like, before they get into, and then like they just became not fun to play against. I mean, I think it's how you play them now is can certainly have some unfun, but I like the mostly just the generic elves. So hopefully stay away from making like an army that's too unfun for my opponent to play against that doesn't want to play a normal game of Age of Sigmar. Also, they're just fun to paint. Apparently half an hour we should have the reveal show going live, so be a bit of fun. Yeah, if you're joining us, let us know what you're thinking we might see, or what you're hoping we'll see. Karen Commissar, nice to see you again. It has been a long time since I've seen you on. Hope you've been well. It is currently the middle of the night over here. It is 1 AM here in the land down under. I mean, this isn't that strange for me to be awake at this time. At the moment, now that we've seen, we've got new bulbs in the fan. One AM is no stranger at the moment. But yeah, so we're currently waiting the reveal show, which I believe starts in about half an hour-ish, if I've got my time correct. Anything you're looking forward to seeing, Karen Commissar? Oh, nice. Yeah. Look, like, I have a deep love for Skaven and Stormcast. I will say that Skaven I've never really been into in AOS. They just don't have the random elements that they had in Fantasy for me. That drew me to, like, the army of, like, you know, rattling guns and warpfire throwers and all that spinning randomly when they misfire and shooting off in random directions, either beneficial or not so beneficial. I like all the new Skaven stuff. I like all the new Stormcast stuff. But yeah, it is time to maybe see something else. I think we'll probably see some Slaves to Darkness, because we know that is the next book. What we'll see for Slaves to Darkness, that's a different question. Especially considering Slaves to Darkness, like, just got the massive Dark Oath update. I don't know what we'd see. Like, what would you want to see? Like, obviously, I don't really care for seeing, like, characters redone, unless it's like a big character, like maybe Chaos Lord or Manticore gets a resculpt would be really cool. You know, like a Chaos Lord, Chaos Sorcerer, or Manticore. If that got a resculpt, that would be a character I'd be fine with seeing get a resculpt. But like units wise, what do we see? Like, we've had Knights, Chosen. Do we see maybe a new Forsaken kit? Could be a cool one. Like, if you don't know from Warhammer Fantasy, Forsaken were like the mutated Chaos Warriors. Maybe some Chaos Archers. Do we see like some some Dark Oak Archers. Could be cool. I think I can hear my daughter waking up in the background there, in the middle of the night. This is what happens when she has a nap during the day. Just trying to find. Where have I went out? Now where have I put it? Yes. TP Grown, hello mate, how are we? Hope you're doing well, mate. Finished doing the house cleaning. You can hear some noise in the background. That is my lovely daughter who's decided now's a great time to start being awake. What are we expecting to see tonight, TP Grant? Oh, nice. What cav are you working on? I'll be working on some cav. We've got 15 of these that I started ages ago. Carlos Venegas, I am painting some Venari Orlan Sentinels at the moment for the Lumineth Realm Lords. I've also got some Vidari Orlin Wardens, the Python that I've been working on. They're going like a winter themed Lumineth skin. If you've seen I mean, we are expecting Slaves to Darkness, I guess, for guesses of what we are going to see. Don't forget, we know that's the next book, so maybe we see something. They're saying before, like, what do we need to see updated in Slaves to Darkness? What needs updating? For me, I don't want to see a foot character again. The only character I would like to see from Slaves to Darkness is an updated Manticore Lord. Like the Chaos Lord on Sorcerer and Chaos Lord and Sorcerer on Manticore model. If that gets an update, that's a character I'm happy to see. But maybe like Forsaken or some Dark Oath Archers or like Spear Throwers, like Javelin Throwers could be cool. Like, I think that's an aesthetic that's not really used a lot. It's like on foot Javelin Throwers, like besides obviously Skinks. I think it's something that like Dark Oath could have that's cool. Mobile short range shooting unit could be cool for slaves. And nice, that little sharky dude is cool. The Parabellum. I'm very excited to get the new dino from Parabellum when that becomes available, the giant like Quetzalcoatl. Yeah, we have yeah, nice. We will have some more Conquest Bat Reps coming up on the channel real soon. I've been really into Sorcery Kings of late. That's been like my big Conquest sort of fascination at the moment. I really like the Sorcery Kings. I love the idea that like the spells go into like your deck, like your strategy deck and all that. I think that's such a cool idea. Engine number 1. Speaking of Conquest, I do have this to build and paint. A giant Mahout. This is the War Elephant for the Sorcerer Kings, and it is a chonky boy. Yeah, very excited to get painting that. I've also got the character that goes on top. Should be really fun to paint. Broken Chef, hello mate, how are we? Good to see so many familiar faces popping up. I think we've got about 15 minutes until the reveal show starts. Something I really like when I'm on Hook too, because you can put 4 archers on the back, but they actually are like just the normal Dano Disciples on bases. So, and you get a tray from as well. So if you don't use the Dano Disciples, as the archers on the back of the Mahout, you actually can have like a full stand of them, which is cool. Like if you get it, especially if you're going for like First Blood, it's cool to have access to it. We will have the Warhammer reveal show stream, so to watch. Quite excited to see what we get. Carlos Venegas, no worries, thank you very much. I will see you later. Hope to catch you on a different stream. Don't forget, jump in the Discord as well. We have a Discord link in the video's description. We have a cool Discord full of awesome people. And oh, hello. We have someone rating our stream. Your hair is an absolute mess. Bed hair and all. What are you doing? Coming in and rating my stream, are you? That bed hair is awful, darling. That is my daughter Harper. It's my eldest. One of 3 now. For those who don't know, we had our newest little boy arrive probably, was he 7 weeks on tomorrow? What are you finally doing there? She's found the kinetic sand. Oh, darling. Now, Bubba? Yeah. Thank you, Carlos Venegas. Thank you very much for the subscribe there as well. We'll catch you soon. Yeah. So yeah. Really, darling. Don't be so loud while I'm streaming. Kids, hey? Living the dad hammer life. This is what happens when you have your kids have naps in the middle of the day. When they're older, they are up all night. Alright. Give me 1 second, Rob. I'm just going to pop around the corner and pop the TV on for this one. Do you have the TV on? There you go. Oh no, we're coming in here, are we? Apparently, I'm being joined. But yeah, so what are we hoping we will see for everyone that is joining and jumping in? What are we wanting to see from the reveal show tonight? Yeah, I think Slaves or Broken Chef. I think Slaves would definitely be the one we're very likely to see. Maybe we'll see like the next couple of tomes on what we're expecting. I hope we get like a preview of what was going to see at the start of next year. Like show us Slaves, and then show us up till June. Show us the next like 4 or 5 tomes that are coming out up until mid next year for both 40k and AOS. Yeah, future Warcry. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see Warcry. I would assume, like, I think Warcry's future would be relatively safe. While we didn't get, well, we're not getting anything at this reveal show. I think the fact we just got rules for pretty quickly after release 2 for the Skaven, the Stormcast, and all of the new Slaves to Darkness like Gunnerbrand and all the Dark Oath. That is good for the future of Warcry, I think. We are getting Underworlds, which is good. That's another one we do need to know like what's happening with. We haven't had any Underworlds in a while. The last Underworlds thing was Zondara. Was it Zondara or was it the Rivals of Underworld? Rivals of the Mirror City with a remake, like with the 4 warbands. Either way, it's been like been pre-Skaven Tide, well pre-Skaven Tide. Yeah, so Warcry got a bunch of updates. So the what are they called? Ruination Chamber has 4 rules now. Gunnerbrand's got a full rule for his particular like box of Moorband. The Dark Oath got a full like warband rule set, and then if you go into the FAQ, a bunch of the Skaven stuff has been updated and added these few new units that exist now. So like the Radagers got updated, but then there's also the Claw Lord. Roadmap, I mean GW and roadmaps, we've seen what that means, and well, it can't be any worse than the last roadmap we saw. Those pieces of paper were absolutely worthless. They were awful. Okay, in a few minutes, I'm just going to double check and see what's happening. Alright, give us a sec, we're just gonna so we are just going to take off the painting stream. I'm going to go over to the... I'm just going to make sure I get the right one. Apologies if I... No, that's my face. That's the right one, and then that's... Pause this music. Alrighty, so it should be everything. But yeah, so just wait for Warhammer to go live. It should be going live any minute now. starting to rain. So yeah, what do you reckon we're going to see tonight? Is it actually live or are we missing it? Just give us a sec, we're just going to breathe. Oops, a doozy. Okay, apologies everyone. I think we missed the start. Underworld. Emberguard.
Hi folks, my name's Nick, and yep, you've just seen the new Warhammer Underworld's Emberguard box. And the big news is, well, it marks the beginning of a completely new edition of the game. First up, what's so great about Warhammer Underworlds anyway? It's a perfect combination of a board game, a card game, and a miniatures game. So if you've ever played literally any game on a table before, you'll be able to pick it up with no problem at all. Games take about an hour to play, so you can get a few games in over an evening, and thanks to the huge combinations allowed for by warbands, card decks, and dice rolls, you can play hundreds of games and have them all feel different. There are even different formats too, so if you just want to open a pre-built deck, shuffle and play, you can, but if you want to test your dark powers of fate manipulation and fully design your own deck, well, you can do that too. This edition of the game is a total reset. Our rules designers have taken the chance to redesign the game from the bottom up to be the most balanced it's ever been, removing feels bad moments like bricked hands of cards you can't use, or having crits just dominate the game. And with its streamlined rulebook, it's also much simpler to learn. This means Emberguard is the ideal starting point for people who are new to the game and battle-hardened veterans just like me. But what else is new? Well, gone are the two board setups and in comes the single board, designed for both players to use. It's double-sided and can be placed just about any way you like, and crucially models will have to engage with the opposing warband straight away, making games even more action-packed from the start. Every warband now has a War Scroll card, detailing what makes them unique in the game, including some seriously cool special rules. Talking of cool looking cards, the Power, Objective and Fighter cards have been updated with artwork being replaced by stunning miniature shots, meaning everything looks as good and shiny as Sigmarite plate armor. Not all factions in Underworlds play the game in the same way. Some warbands love smashing their opponent apart, while others prefer claiming treasure tokens. You might prefer your warband to be a combination of both, or maybe a warband with some sneaky tricks up their sleeves. We've defined these as Strike, Take and Hold, Flex, and finally Mastery, meaning you can easily pick a warband that suits your style of play and choose a rival's deck to accompany it that you know will work great. The action moves to Emberguard, the city in the realm of Akshi, where the Skaven have brought up the Great Gnaw and are currently swarming the lands. But in the vast mines below Emberguard, huge quantities of Emberstone, the realm stone of Akshi, have been found, and warbands flock there to try and claim it. The Emberwatch are Stormcast Eternals, sent to the mines under Emberguard to protect the Emberstone at all costs. while Zicket's Tunnel Pack are nefarious Skaven, desperate to get their clawed hands on as much Emberstone as they possibly can. Of course, more warbands will be on the way, so those mines are going to get pretty crowded. Oh, and one last thing. Speaking of warbands, if it's legal in organised play, you're going to be able to get it from Warhammer.com or your friendly local game store. It's as simple as that. So there we go. It's time for a new edition of a genuinely incredible game, and Warhammer Underworld's Emberguard is coming to a tabletop near you soon. So there we go. The brand new edition of Warhammer Underworlds is here with the Emberguard box. Super exciting. I'm glad the cat's out of the bag on this one. It's been a long time coming. It looks great, doesn't it?
It does indeed. We have had so much fun playing it in the office. We've got a little scoreboard up in the wall. We can't get enough of it.
You've been winning most of your games, I seem to remember.
Well,
We're going to get told
now,
that they're
of course,
going to
Warhammer Underworlds, if you've never played before, as the video just talked about, it's a fantastic game of cards and miniatures and board game combined. It's great for beginners and for veterans alike. And this new Emberguard box is such a good place to dive in if you haven't already before, and if you're like me and you're a veteran player, it's a great place to just carry on your experience as well. Now, one of the best things about Underworld, Alex, one of the best things has always been the miniatures. Ever since the start, there's always been some great toy soldiers for Warhammer Underworlds, and this box is no exception. And up on the screen now, I think we've got your favourite warband.
We do indeed. So this is Zicket's Tunnel Pack. Now, one of the best things, as you said, is the miniatures. And for Warhammer Underworlds, because you've got little warbands between sort of like 3 and 5 characters, you can tell a story with each individual one. You're not looking at a big squad. So this is Zicket, and he seems to at one point lost one of his claws, but he's high enough ranking that he's probably bullied some warlock engineer to kind of fashion him a new one.
Has he got a clause in his contract, Alex?
My favourite in the warband is Ritak there on his kill wheel. So I can imagine him just tearing through the tunnels under Emberguard with that warp grinder on the front of it, just skewering everybody he comes across.
It's just so cool. And you know what? I don't have to imagine it because you've done it to me multiple times on the table. My favourite warband are the Ember Watch, who are the Stormcast Eternals of the Vanguard Chamber, sent down to the mines to protect the Emberstone. From here, everybody, especially you. On the screen here, we've got Ardorn, the leader. How heroic is this miniature? He's got 2 hero rocks and flowing hair. That's how you are a paragon of order. What a great miniature.
It's majestic.
It really is, and the whole warband's great. There we go, all 3 of us. Yurik on the left and Faras on the right. And what's great about these warbands, if you're a painter, is that they provide such a nice little project. A few models here or there. You're not painting a whole army. That is good fun, but sometimes it's a little project, and these warbands provide a great chance to do that. You painted your Skaven warband, didn't you?
Indeed. So this is your opportunity to sort of collect wide as opposed to deep.
Exactly that. Hey, talking of going deep, what a great segue. This is the new setting for Warhammer Underworlds, is the Emberguard Mines. Tell us more.
Yes, so Emberguard was one of the cities that was set up at the end of kind of the Dawnbringers saga. However, it sits in the Adamantine chain. You can see there that mountain range, and it's basically sat between Akshi and the Nor. So when the Vermindune happened and there was this massive explosion, basically it is now sat on the border of millions and millions of Skaven that are seeking to break through and get into action. Now, this city has been, well, let's not say abandoned, but it's certainly not in a good shape. And deep underground, you've got all the Emberstone mines. And unsurprisingly,
what are we thinking of the Underworld
would
stuff?
like to access this Emberstone. It's volatile, it's explosive, it's
pretty
everything
cool
they
as well.
love. And for the same reasons, I suspect we're going to see an awful lot of people coming here.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more warbands coming, that's for sure. Now, the game at its heart is the same game it always was, but designers have taken a real good chance to sort of go back to basics and sort things out and clean things up and make the game a lot easier to learn as well. And one of the things they've done, which I really love, is they've actually defined the different play styles of the game. Now, previously, gamers would have talked about aggressive warbands or flex warbands, that sort of thing, but we've actually gone now and defined the 4 different warband types as Strike, Take and Hold, Flex, which is a combination of the other 2, and Mastery, which is sort of sneaky tricks you want to play. And this is ideal because not only if you're used to card games, you're probably already used to this sort of thing already, but it also means if you know your play style, if you like hitting stuff with a big club, you go for a Strike warband. If you're a bit sneakier, like yourself, you might go for a Mastery warband, which is really cool. And actually, in the Emberguard box, there's a Rivals deck that comes, and there's one of each of those 4 in there.
Oh, so for these 4 decks, can you use them with either warband?
Absolutely. In fact, any warband. So any deck in the game can be used with any deck at all. However, what the designers have done is they've defined the warbands as one of those 4, and each deck is one of those 4, which means if you want to use a take and hold warband, it's going to be ideal to go for a take and hold rivals deck as well, because that's going to suit their playstyle.
But if you don't want to do that and you want to be a little bit more sneaky,
You're right, you can do that. You can take, if you wanted to take a strike warband and a take and hold deck, you could, and you know what, that might surprise your opponents enough to get one up on them. No bad thing at all. Now, the other thing we want to talk about here for the new edition, just the way it looks. Look at the cards. The photography here is it's just so good. We used to have artwork, but now our photography team's taken the advantage of the great miniatures we have and just produces these incredible
for the models.
upgrade cards.
I like
We've
the
got the
artwork
power cards,
better.
the gambit cards, the objective cards, and the fighter cards all have photography and just look so good.
that's it was the option,
Like
the opportunity
the
to
going
really
like,
tell a
it's the
story in
models.
the same way
That
that the
card
miniatures
just
do.
looks so
You can see here
meh
with the character
compared to
cards
what
that
we
you've got
have.
the full-sized model.
Yeah.
So if you're looking across the table at your opponent's warband, you can instantly tell which is which.
You can. It's so good. Now, one thing that's really exciting here is while it is on the way soon, you can actually see games of Warhammer Underworlds being played really soon, because next week at the Tampa Open, we are going to be showing a live stream of games of the new edition of Warhammer Underworlds. So please tune in right here on this same channel, and you can see the first games of the new edition being played.
I personally
Be there
prefer the
watching as well,
artwork
and I
on
can't
the
wait.
cards.
So there we go,
Miniatures are
exciting,
just a
right?
little bit like-
Right, with that out of the way, now we're going to stay in the Mortal Realms, but we're going to go somewhere else, Alex. There's something chaotic is brewing.
Warhammer Days to do. We've seen this. Why is this a okay? Okay. Spearhead Darkest Rays. Okay. So, I'm just gonna.
Wow.
So that is the Slaves to
For some
Darkness
reason, like-
getting their new battle tone.
That's very exciting. Of course, we've already seen the Skaven battle tone drop. We know the Stormcast tones are on the way.
Indeed.
This is the 3rd battle tone, Slaves to Darkness, and leading the way
Yep.
is that fantastic new miniature we've just seen there.
That's
Tell me
it.
more.
We've
Hopefully
not mentioned
that
this before.
fixes this a
Maybe
little
we
bit.
have a little bit, but it is Warhammer Day.
Happy Warhammer Day, folks.
Yes, and as part of Warhammer Day, we usually have a commemorative miniature, and this year's is Sarketh, Bane of Law. So he's a Chaos Sorcerer Lord, and these guys are obsessed with power, particularly
Hopefully
arcane
this
power,
fixes
and kind
and gets
of
the whole story
acquiring
up.
it. So they'll make dark pacts with things from the realms of chaos.
There we go, that's better.
They'll grab, whatever artifacts, cursed or not, there may be about. And Zarketh really embodies this beautifully. He's got everything from bones. There's a femur there at his side. He's got scrolls. He's got
Oh,
a
he's
book
cool,
that's on
but-
fire,
right.
and he's got a staff with a skull in the centre of it. What
We've
more
seen
can
this.
you
This
want?
doesn't need to
Great
be
model.
shown.
His face burning
Really
green with
shown.
unnatural energy. I love it. He is going to be available very soon. Pre-order on the 5th. And in different areas in the world it might be different, but do please check Warhammer
So I
Community
can't how tell the
website
pre-recorded
for
this one's
details
saying
there.
pre-order on the 5th. It is the 5th
I
though.
really do. It's
Oh,
cool.
yes.
Now, Alex, normally when we think about Slaves to Darkness, we think about the the battle-plated Chaos
Yes,
Warriors or
big,
the
big,
Chosen.
heavily
Yeah,
armoured.
yeah, exactly.
I'm happy to
But
see
there's
him
something
spearhead.
really interesting about this new Slaves to Darkness battle tone, because we're going to expand our breadth of knowledge of the Slaves to Darkness. And coming here, first up, this is the Dark Oath Raiders Spearhead that's coming
Alright.
alongside the
I'm
book.
keen to have
Which is
new
great.
spearheads
Don't
come
worry,
to
Spearhead
different
fans,
armies.
the original Blood Legion is still legal and good to use. This is an extra Spearhead you can use as well, which is
Indeed.
really cool. Full of quick and speedy warriors. You can see you've got plenty of the Ravagers on the left and the Marauders on the right, and the Riders at the back as well. They are just great fun. A proper horde of Marauders coming across the table.
That's it. I love there's a
Right,
little bit of
yeah.
background for the Fell
There's no
Riders,
new
whereby
stuff.
these are
It's,
nomadic individuals
quite
where food is
disappointing.
not always easy to acquire. So whenever they've stopped and they have a bit of a feed, they'll eat anything, including the dead. But the Savages, they've gone a little bit obsessed with fulfilling their oaths.
Yeah.
And so they've kind of started to head down their path to glory a little bit.
That's quite cool.
So, speaking of oaths,
Yeah.
there is an interesting oath mechanic.
Yeah,
with this.
there is. In Spearhead, these guys can use oaths like they do, like Warcry or Underworlds before. They can use oaths and declare a battle tactic as an oath, and if they manage to score it, they can also use the command on the same card, which is a really cool little mechanic.
Very nice.
But there we go. And also, for Spearhead fans, just about everything you can see in front of you has the reinforcements keyword, so it just all comes back all the time. Oh, you love it. But that's not the only thing we're coming alongside the Slaves to Darkness book. Of course, there is another new miniature too. Check this guy out.
Yes, this is another Chaos
Alright,
Sorcerer
so
Lord.
new Chaos Sorcerer Lord.
Now this one comes with a head option and an option to swap out the top of that staff there. So if you did want to have multiple of them, yeah, you've got plenty of options.
It's such a cool model. I love that helmet so much. It's proper
Feels weird
Yeah,
that it's
it
like a
means the
plain
runes on
white
the sword.
background.
Yeah,
They're just
don't look too
showing.
close, you'll go mad. What is nice is that we've seen the Skaven book come out already, and it's just nice to see that this book sort of confirms that this is the format of battle tomes going forwards.
Indeed.
Tell us about what we're going to see.
So the book contains everything that you typically would expect. You know, you've got a whole host of rules and background, but the way it's been put together, the way the narrative has been crafted, it just flows brilliantly. You've got lots of little short stories, lots of beautiful artwork. Everything comes together to make it just genuinely a really nice book to read.
It sounds like it's much
Sorry,
like
no,
really
that should
good
be
fun
a
to
bit
get
better
into and just
now
keep
that
reading and
we've,
reading and reading.
dropped it down.
If normally you play the games and you might not read the lore, you really want to
So,
start
what do we
doing
think of
it
the new Slaves
because
to
it's
Darkness?
just
I
so
mean, that was
good.
weird that
That's
the
it,
model
we've seen
was
it before,
just on
as
a
you
plain
said,
white
the
background.
Skaven
I mean,
Battle
it's a cool
Tome,
new
and
Chaos Sorcerer
you will
Lord.
see it with the Stormcast, and
I
even
hope
in
we
the
don't
Age of
have another
Sigmar
edition
core
of just
course, yeah.
single
you
model
can see here
characters
some
getting released for
fantastic
every
art.
faction.
That's
Absolutely beautiful.
good.
And that's
Like-
Chaos Sorcerer Lord there in the background.
There he is, casting a spell. I
Not
like the
what I
fact that
wanna
you
see.
talked about before that the lore is told
but-
from a certain point of view in this book.
Yes. So we've got certain characters that are basically going to be giving you the on-the-ground kind of reporting, as it were.
I like.
So for the Slaves to Darkness, we've got Gunnerbrand and the Brands, and that's his tribe. And we've seen these in Monsters on Warhammer Plus. They've got models, they've got a book, in fact. And basically,
At least as a
by
hero, but
using
yeah, it
these
just
characters,
feels
we give you
very
kind of
lackluster.
that
Like, I would have liked to see
personal
you
touch
update
to the
units
story.
Yeah.
So the Dark Oath themselves,
I mean,
as
I guess
we've said,
Slaves did
they're
just get
not
all the
big
Dark Oath
armoured chaps.
updates.
These are the guys that the
still.
descendants of those that were left
It does feel
behind
like a
when
while
Sigmar
ago.
retreated back through the gates into Azir, and they just had to do whatever they had to do to survive. And they make up the vast majority of the worshippers of the Ruinous Powers.
It's so cool to see that variety added to the book. And in fact, as before in other battle tomes as well, in terms of gameplay too, it really speaks to that narrative as well. As in fact, one of the battle formations in the game for your Age of Sigmar games is Dark Oath Horde, where if you take an army of Dark Oath, they can just
Yeah,
keep coming
like-
back and keep coming back all the time, which is great.
With how they've done,
Other
especially
really
with
cool
how they've made
mechanics in the
characters
book
the
as
edition,
well
there
for
are so
gamers.
few of them on
You
the
can
table.
pledge units to Dark
The only
Gods
characters I
during
wanna
the
see
game and gain bonuses as they
are
go.
ones that can be
If you're a
taken in
narrative
a
player,
wargame
there's
of another
3 Path to
hero.
Glory campaigns in there.
Because, like, we have
to
so few of
pledge
them
your
now in a
oaths
game
to
of
the
Age
Dark
Sigmar.
Gods. And there's an Army of Renown in here
So
as
it's
well,
not
which
like
you're really excited about.
40K
Indeed. So
where
this
they
is
can add a
Bellacor's
character and then
Legion
make
of the
that
First
character go
Prince.
into 6
So as we know, the
different
Slaves to
units.
Darkness, they're not one big
and change up
monolithic
how it
faction.
works.
In theory,
Like,
Archaon
you
is
know,
in charge of
refresh 16
everybody,
by
but
adding a character. It's not
Bellacor's got
like
his
that
own
before,
dealings
because we
going
don't
on, his
do
own
that.
machinations.
Because of how armored some
And
of
so
his
if you want to
characters
play a
are,
Slaves to
very
Darkness
little.
army
That
that's just a little
character's
bit
not
different,
good.
Bellacor's
Like, it is
Legion of the
nothing
First
new.
Prince is where you want to go, because you can take your Legionnaires, the Centurions, you can take lots of demons as well. It's very cool.
It's even got its own enhancements, spell, manifestation, or battle traits. Everything. It's just so cool to see. And there's something else we really liked as well, looking through this book, which is one of the regiments of renown in there is called God-Marked Ascendant, and this essentially allows you to use the amazing Demon Prince miniature in any of the 4 armies you can see on the left there. So the Blades of
so
Khorne,
this is cool that
Self-Siege,
they're
Magickin of
talking
Nurgle,
about.
Head Knights of Celestia,
A
all
regiment
have
renown
access
that essentially
to
allows you to take
that
the
Demon
Demon
Prince to use in
Prince.
their army.
That's it, and you can see there
God
the God-Marked
marking
Legion
any
ability.
of the
Basically,
4
give him their
armies.
keyword.
That's a cool
and he can
regiment.
gain
That's
all the
what
buffs
you
from that
wanna
army.
see from these.
That's so cool.
Nothing you
I've
always
never
want
been
a
much
Nurgle
one
Demon
for
Prince or
Chaos
Khorne
before. I
Egg
can
Demon
feel myself
Prince.
being
You
overcome
know,
by the
take
Dark
it.
Gods.
Oh, that's it.
Like,
The kit comes
cool.
with so many options.
Yeah,
You know, you can make him corn flavored or Slaneshi flavored, etc. And this is the perfect opportunity to put him in those armies.
Frankly, is finding an excuse to put a great model in your army not what Warhammer's all about, really. Okay, so there we go. Slaves to Darkness coming very, very soon for Warhammer Age of Sigmar.
All right,
But
let's see
now
what's
it's time
next.
to take a look at some big boxes that are on the way soon. So there we go. 'Tis the season for battle forces, of course, and this year is no
Apologies, I
exception.
tried to turn
Some
the volume
fantastic
up
battle
when they're
forces
actually
coming our
showing
way in the
stuff,
holiday
but
season.
Battle
You know
Forces
what?
coming,
a bit
like,
different this
actually
time
been revealed.
around.
Cool.
Now, as always, the
Caesar
battle
Signal
forces are a
one
great
will
way to
probably
start
be one
collecting
I'll
your
look to
army.
grab.
Yes, it's a given, right? And they're a great
get
thing
some
to
more
have
of
for
the
a
new
holiday
series.
gift, or even to treat yourself over the holiday period.
For me.
For you.
Yes.
You get me one, I get you one. That's sorted. but what's also good here as well is
So,
they've been
yeah,
specifically designed
just
so that
turning the
going
volume up
alongside
of
the
the,
combat patrols or the
audio,
spearheads,
their
there's not going to
audio
be too much
when they've got
sort
an
of
actual
duplication,
review.
so that you can have a nice big
To
army
show
if you
off.
get both boxes. And furthermore, they've all been designed in such a way that they represent a specific detachment or battle formation in either 40k or AOS, which is really clever.
Very crafty.
So let's go through and see. I know they flashed up on screen there. Let's have a really good look at each one.
This
Starting
looks
off with, I
really
think, your
different.
favourite.
The Town one's
Indeed,
pretty
so
cool.
this is the Town
Battle suits, I mean,
Retaliation Cadre. Now, one of my
This is
favourite
how you
aspects
sell
of
a
Town, and I
Town
think a
box
lot
set,
of people's
battle
favourite
suits,
aspects of
all
Town
the way.
are the battle suits.
Yes,
This gives you
yeah,
Riptide, a Broadside,
Keel.
a Ghost Keel, and a Commander. So that's
Yeah,
four
Broadside,
massive battle
Commander.
suits and so much firepower.
That's just the coolest models. I'd really think the
Pretty-
Ghost
yeah,
Killer is
the
one of my
big dude's
favourite
cool.
models in 40k. They just look great, don't they?
Colt?
And
No,
the
no.
Retaliation Cadre is
Colt
itself a
Star? Is it
detachment in
Colt?
40k, all about taking
Colt
battle
Star's
suits.
the commander,
Perfect. They make your guns super powerful and blow your enemy away with even more ease than before. So yeah, that's coming soon. Up next, we've got the Necrons and the Hypercrypt Legion. In the middle there, we
Necron
have the
one could be
Catan,
could be
the
tempting.
Shard of the Catan, the
Those are
Void Dragon in the
Necrons,
middle, of
and I
course.
do love
Now you've
the,
noticed that there's quite a
Six-
theme running here.
Yes.
Yes, so for many of these box sets, you'll see there is a focal point, a single miniature. You know, it might be a large
And
miniature
also
or
that
a HQ.
Overlord is cool.
But this one, obviously, with the Void Dragon, and it is an amazing miniature.
Yeah, it really is.
And just it's sat there in the middle of it, it really draws you in.
It makes a perfect box to be a gift. It's kind of like a model you might not buy yourself, but someone's
Yes.
bought for you. It's just really, really cool. The Hypercrypt Legion itself is a detachment. Again, it allows you to phase your models out in the middle of the game and to zip them around all over the place, which is really cool. Very Necron, and that's just a great box set. Up next, we've got the Adeptus Sororitas. Here we have the
Yeah,
Penitent
that's Sororitas
Crusader
one.
host, and the Penitent host in the rules makes them all faster, stronger, hit harder, and all the things you
Meh.
don't want hitting you, like those Arcoflagellants, the Repentia, and all those engines.
I mean,
Just a bit
the
terrifying.
Sororitas one's
What a
weird
great
because
box.
it's
And
like-
you mentioned as well that these work really well with
nothing
the
there
combat
that-
patrols.
For sure.
And this one in particular, I think,
makes
the two
me wanna
merge
get
beautifully
Sororitas,
to
like-
give you a full army.
A nice big army there,
Repentia, while
definitely
I
here.
like
So
Repentia, they're not
grab hold
exactly
of that
what I
one.
look to get.
Then we've got some big
Like, when I
stompy
think
war
of
machines.
battlefields.
It's the Imperial
Imperial
Knights
Knight one,
coming
though.
in with a Valor Strike Lance.
I do love these Imperial Knight ones.
I say
Um,
Armigers or Helverins make
think
that
if I
as
got
a
one of the
Paladin
40k
or an
ones,
Errant.
this would be the
And I
one.
suspect, this is a bit of kind of mental maths here,
Yeah.
that if you got two of these boxes, I think that's a full army.
That's a great shout. Yeah, it'd be a wonderful way to start your force and complete it pretty much at the same time. Up next, we've got the Dark Angels. This is the Inner
I
Circle
don't need to
Task
pick this up.
Force.
Unfortunately, I've
Talking
already
of
got Lionel
centerpiece
Johnson,
miniatures, is there
so,
anything much better than a Primarch? There's the Lion
oh,
right
that's
there,
sucks, 'cause it's
leading
such
the
a
way,
amazing part of
surrounded
it, but
by
I do
his
love
Death
the
Wing.
Inner
and it just
Circle
looks great.
companions. All the Termi
The Lion,
chaplains in there as
notably
well.
the only person important enough to have
Oh.
two Watchers in the Dark with
That's an
him.
important
some
law
Deathwing
fact.
Knights.
Yeah, the Deathwing Task Force, the Inner Circle Task Force, sorry, is indeed
me,
a
like, the
detachment
Imperial
from
Knight
the Dark
one,
Angel Codex.
like, that's a decent
Lets you sort of,
saving.
has loads of
That's
great
gonna be the one I'm
enhancements and
looking to
strats
pick up,
for
without a
Deathwing,
doubt.
but also nominate an objective and blow enemies away that are nearby to it, which is cool. So there we go, it's the 40k ones. Let's take a look at the Cities of Sigmar battle forces. And up first, we've got the Founding Foray from
Oh, cool.
the
Free
Cities of
Guild
Sigmar there.
Fusiliers,
Yeah, this is
Knight,
really, this is
Cannon,
another great
Ogre
box set.
Warhawk,
And you know, I was talking about the fact that
Marshal
that
Relic
goes alongside the
Envoy.
Spearhead. Well, this is ideal because the Spearhead's got your steel helms and a cannon. This has got your Fusiliers and a cannon.
Two cannons.
Right, exactly. And if you got both, you'd have
the
a
Cities
great
one.
army. This has got the Fusilier Major at the back, the huge Ogre Hulker there at the back. You've got the Command Corps at the front, and more Cavaliers as well.
Oh, that's it.
It's just what a set of miniatures they are. So beautiful. And another Marshal there as well.
Yeah, I'd be.
Yeah, it's a great all-round box set,
looking
that
to
one.
pick up
And
the
you could
Cities
use
one.
it as your
The Cities Knights would be
Ironweld
the two
Guild army
interested
to add
in.
inches onto all your shooting weapons, because there's loads of those, or your Bulwark Zone battle formation, and you could fortify your army before the game begins and have them all dug in, which is great. Up next, an army that would never be dug in, it's the Auric War Clans and the Wrecker Mob box. Oh man, that looks big and angry, and I love it.
This is
Our
another clear
boys, some
example
of
of
the
like
new
a big
brutes,
focal point miniature there with that
each
more
variation
you can
and
build it in a
big
couple
pig.
of different ways. And that's
Each
another thing with these
fancy the other
boxes is that
characters.
you don't have to build them exactly as you see on screen. you can make of them what you want.
What one of people
Yeah, there's
liking
ravages
the
either
look
side,
of
either
the
side
most
at
so
the
far?
front. You can build as one of
Right.
2 different ways.
That's a cool bunch of
and,
models.
I mean, those
are
R boys are just
Our
terrifying
PP.
wall of muscle and armour.
Cool
It's
if
one of my
maybe
favourite
one of the
boxes,
R boys
and
just swapped out for like a
without
cool grunty unit,
giving
I
anything
think.
away, Wrecker Mobs, all Iron Jaws forces,
I
if you've
wish
seen the
with
Oracle
these,
Clan
they did,
cards,
like,
hit
the
like a
Cities one was
train.
really
They
cool
really
because
do.
they didn't double
So
stack
they're
on
great
any
stuff.
unit, they had
Up
all
next, I
different
think
things.
the one
The
you've
fact
got
is
your
the 2 lots of
BD
R boys,
Undead Eye on, Alex.
whatever
It's
that
the
is,
Flesh Eater
not-
Courts
not-
Charnel Guard Jury. Tell me about these guys. There's a lot of those Morbeg Knights in
That's
the back.
it, you get 6 Morbeg Knights here,
I mean,
and as you
Flesh
said, if you
Eater
mixed it in with the
cards
spear,
are
that's
not
9.
double up, but
That's scary.
Yep.
maybe
So
instead
the
of
centerpiece
2
for this
like
is
Vigors,
Gran
Crypt
Justice
Lords, you
Gourmet.
could've dropped
Now,
out
he's one of the
one of
few
the
flesh
knights
eaters
and one
that
of the
has a
Crypt
little bit
Lords,
of
put a
sanity left.
Terrorgeist in here.
He's
Sure.
able to see things as they are. However, that means that he has to kind of dial it up a little bit in order to not be found out.
So these aren't
Hence
the
his,
combat, these aren't
intestinal
combat
wig.
patrol bots.
Yeah, sure. When the only guy in your
These
army that's got the
are
sanity is the
the
guy wearing the
battle
guts for a wig, you've got problems.
For the Christmas
Really cool box set, that one. I'm terrified of it. The last one we have here is the Maggot King of Nurgle. This is the Shudderblight Cyst. And that is an absolutely beautiful box.
See, I
of
don't
miniatures.
mind.
You've got
This is
the
not
Rot
too bad.
Bringers
Though.
on the
The
left
double
and
up on
front,
the Pascal
the
Blight
stunning
King
Harbinger of
Lord.
Decay
Oh,
in the
yes.
centre, and the
Not too bad,
Plague
'cause
Lords at the back
obviously
as
you
well.
build
What
one
a
up
great,
as
great
the
box that
character
is.
in this.
So I know a huge amount of people that have picked up that Harbinger of Decay just to paint that model. It
Go
is
down
the
the stream a little, you can
perfect
barely hear me.
centerpiece, or put it on the mantelpiece kind of one.
I reckon there'll be a few right now
Is
over
that
at Essen,
better?
the Golden Demon. I reckon we'll
Apologies.
see a few.
Very true.
Having a
Now, this
stream
worked really
on
well with the Affliction
laptop.
Cyst battle formation, so that your Blight Lords, those guys flying on huge rot flies, can just be picked up
Lady Witch
and
Fox,
put
good
down
to see
somewhere
you
else
there.
in the battle to really cause your opponent problems.
They're already terrifying.
Just a great box. Yeah, and again,
Is
ideal
that
alongside the
better,
Spearhead, which is full of
sound-wise?
Plague Bearers. So, brilliant. There we go. That's the battle forces that are coming very shortly for the holiday periods. They are available while stocks last, so if you want hold of one, make sure you get it as soon as you can. Shall we have a look at something that no one knows about yet? Right? Let's go.
I mean, come on. What do you take us for?
Without a doubt, the most iconic artifact weapon in the old world.
I mean, as soon as we knew we were working with Warhammer, this is the one that I wanted. Really to do, like, no questions asked. This was the one.
So,
Galmraz, the Skull Splitter. For us, this is Warhammer.
this is
If
obviously
I
another
picture
scene,
Warhammer
Empire,
in my head, I have Galmraz very present in there.
So this one's the big
Piece
one.
that's come
What we
out.
then realized is that when you scale that up to life size, the proportions are not correct. I mean, it's made for mini to stand out.
It was really cool to kind of see the design team work through these problems iteratively over the course of a series of sculpts and models.
Whilst I'm not going to claim to be any kind of
Obviously, seen the
living
Empire pieces
personified
come out
Smed
and
here,
stuff like that.
I've definitely put my heart and soul into this piece.
It's unbelievably
See,
important to the
resistance.
lore of the old world and to
Only
bring
like
it to life
five. You've only got
in
one
full
down
scale
to
in a
it.
way that cosplayers and LARPers can use. It's such an honor.
Apologies if you get a real big close up of my face. Yeah. Like, this is cool.
So we've seen a lot of Warhammer, but that is the Warhammer.
The Warhammer, the Warhammer that the game's named after.
Indeed.
Galmaraz, of course, the iconic weapon from both Warhammer the Old World and all
mean,
the way
Age of
through
Sigmar.
to
Great.
Age of Sigmar,
Yeah.
of course. Tell me why it's so important to Warhammer.
I
So
saw
this is the
how
Warhammer that
much the,
started it all off. So this is the hammer that Sigmar picked up after he came and saved Kurgan Ironbeard, the
like,
High King of the
costume
Dwarves. So
was that
originally
they
it was
made?
made for them, but after he arrived and he picked it up and he slew a whole host of orcs and he saved the High King gifted it to him.
That's
So,
what a history. And now, after
yeah.
all of that,
I'm worried about how
folks
much
at home
that
can
would
own it
cost.
themselves and have it on the mantelpiece at home.
That's it, or it's perfect for cosplay.
Exactly that. Now, I've seen the dwarves made out of Gromril.
Yes.
Now, this one is made of injected molded foam with a glass core, so it will sit on your mantelpiece and not fall through it. But yeah, it's going to be ideal for displaying or your cosplay, and we're going to have get one in here shortly.
Well, I think it would work perfectly with our arrangement of other weapons.
Pride of place right at the back. Wow, can't wait for that to come. Let's have a quick talk about something else now. When we move on from a big Warhammer to very, very small Warhammer, and let's talk about Legions Imperialis. And we're going to start off by talking about the Mechanicum.
Okay.
Because while I've got you on camera and I've got you in the seat, and you're our lore master, I wanted to ask you, who are the Mechanicum in Horus Heresy?
So the Mechanicum are the precursors to the Mechanicus
So
that we
I
see in
think
the
we've
40k
seen this
universe.
got
And
leaked
basically,
long
after
ago.
the Treaty of Olympus
the
Mons,
Mechanicum
where the
set
Emperor
is coming
basically
out.
united Terra and Mars, the Mechanicum are the faction that basically have they provide the manufacturing base. They've made all the weapons, they've made ships.
There's not been a lot.
You
Like,
name
the
it.
Underworlds was
They
cool.
have
The Underworlds
essentially
was probably,
fueled the
but it wasn't
Great
surprising.
Crusade.
We knew what
as
we were
these
going to see
expeditionary
for
forces go out
Underworlds,
and claim new planets. They've
and
claimed various Forge Worlds and stuff.
it really
on the
was
way,
down to do
as
we
you
see
do.
Scryer or Mulder?
Of course you do.
for Underworlds.
Naturally.
It really-
Now, we've already
Wasn't it?
seen the battle group that got revealed on Warhammer
We've
Community
got
quite
Pestilence, we've got-
recently. But I wanted to ask you while you're here, this all looks so exotic and cool. Tell me about these miniatures, man. What are they?
Oh, we've got a beautiful range for the
I will
Legio
say,
Cybernetica
like,
here. We've got the
Okay,
Vorax
after the
there
Council
up on the
for
left.
I
They're
don't
sort of
mind
like
seeing the
insectile
models
ones.
on a flat
One of my
white
favourite things in
background
here
like this.
is the Arlatax. You'll see them
Showing
up
this
in
on
the,
screen,
the
flat
middle,
white
in the
background
top there.
is
Now,
nice.
we've had rules, we've had lore for them, but this is the first time we're getting a miniature.
Oh, super
So
exciting.
these are they've got jetpacks. So you just imagine that sort of Legio Cybernetica unit, that size, just flying towards you. Absolutely brilliant.
My Solar Auxiliary forces will be quaking in their boots. But let's have a look at some of the smaller miniatures, perhaps. There we go. What we got
Yeah,
here?
plenty of tech thralls, some Myrmidons there in the middle, or the Domitar.
They look so,
Cool.
so good. I love the fact that
This is
they're
cool for
so
Legion
detailed
Imperialis
and
because
look
this
so
means like we've got
uniform in
another
this
like
colour
proper
scheme
factions.
as
Now
well.
we've got
Such
Marines,
variety.
Titans,
That's it, yes, so in all of the battle group boxes, we've had
Mechanicum
a
and
great
the
variety,
Astra
but
Militarum,
particularly
so
in this one for the
cool.
Mechanicum.
And
It's just absolutely fantastic to have such
speaking
a
of
range.
legions,
Now, you're probably sat at home
we've,
thinking,
we're
Games
starting
Workshop,
it.
we've already seen
So
these.
we
So
will
why are you
have
talking about
Legion Imperialis on
Mechanicum?
the
And the
channel
reason we are,
some point soon.
because, well, the Mechanicum's just one half, right?
Yes, so these models can be used by the Mechanicum, but also the Dark Mechanicum.
Okay.
Oh,
So the Dark Mechanicum are essentially the traitorous elements of the Mechanicum. So during the Horus Heresy, Horus, unsurprisingly, took half of the legions with him. He took a bunch of planets, some of the Imperial army. but as
guy, man,
part of
seriously.
that, he's a right scamp. He also
So the
caused a
Dark-
schism
we're gonna get Dark Mechanicum
between
rules as
certain
well.
elements
Cool.
of the Mechanicum.
down for
So
that.
he convinced a whole cadre of them, including Kelbor Hal, the Fabricator General. And how he did that is he offered them various prescribed technologies and access to things. And one of the things he did is he opened the vaults of Moravec. And within there was various technological developments and plans and things. And one of those came to fruition as the Serperos Overlord Heavy Stalker, which you can see here.
Wow. Oh, there's the miniature.
Yes.
Look at that. It
Ooh,
looks so
that's cool.
insectile and strange. I
Yes,
love it.
You can imagine it scuttling across the sands of Mars.
Absolutely can. It's great. So this is the kind of thing we can expect from the Dark Mechanicum Force. Now,
Indeed.
do they carry the same weapons that the Mechanicum carry?
To a degree, so the vast majority will be, relatively familiar to those who play the Mechanicum. But you've also got horrifying weapons like the exoplanar bombard, because you can imagine that the Imperium is pretty okay with horrific weapons.
Yep.
So to have a prescribed weapon by the by the Imperium means that it must be terrifying.
That's banned by the Imperium. It's that bad. That's crazy. Well, these guys are absolutely terrifying. Now, I wanted to say what's really exciting here is this is the first time in any of Games Workshop's games, I think, that we actually be able to play the Dark Mechanicum as a playable faction on the tabletop.
Indeed. We've seen a few characters
Yeah.
that kind of lean in that direction, but as a full faction,
They
yes.
seem to be making a
That's
big deal that this is the
first
first
really
time
exciting.
Dark Mechanicum
Now,
will
if
be
you want the
playable on the
rules for
tabletop.
these,
So
and
we
for
going to see
Mechanicum,
Dark
you're going to
Mechanicum?
need to grab the Rise of the Dark Mechanicum book. So inside here, we've
other
got all the things we
games of
expect. So we've
Warhammer?
got loads of
Be
lore,
really cool to
we've
see,
got rules, you've got battle groups, plenty of beautiful models, and one of my favourite things, unsurprisingly, is the narrative of the fall of Magma City. So if you're familiar with the Mechanicum, maybe you've read some of the Horus Heresy books, you'll have heard of this Pluvio Maximal's city that eventually gets destroyed during the Schism of Mars, and this is the first time we see the Stalkers in action.
Oh, this is absolutely brilliant. So there we go. There's that's the first of the Dark Mechanicum we've seen. There's going to be more coming, of course, scuttling its way towards us. And if you want to see that, of course, keep your eye on the Warhammer Community website, specifically on Heresy Thursdays, where more may well be revealed in the future. Now, Alex, that's all a bit grim and dark and bleak. Should we have a look at something a bit more light-hearted?
Yeah.
Prepare a feast in the field. Make a pie crust from compressed carb bars and fill it with a tin of Munitorum-issued nutrient paste. Bake it on the exhaust of a Lehman Russ until it's piping hot. Sausages are a great snack when behind enemy lines. To cook them, borrow a shovel from one of the Kriegers, ignore the heavy breathing, stick it over a fire, and give them a sizzle. As it's a special occasion, you can dunk them in a mug of gravy, too. You should be able to find a chem-frozen bird in the officer's mess. To roast it, slather it with promethium gel, set it alight with a shot from your lasgun, and run. Remember, too much and it'll be cremated. Too little, and you might as well eat a mortar round. Bon appetit!
What?
This is a great model. What a core model.
So this is provisionally prepared. So this is one of our commemorative models, and there's usually several of these scattered throughout the year, but this is the holiday season one.
Yeah, not wrong. It makes me feel just happy and joyous looking at it. It's just the coolest little model. A really nice little painting project, perhaps, for the holidays. It's designed to be painted and enjoyed, really. But I've got questions, right? So we're in the grim darkness of the far future, Alex. These are ratlings. How they got themselves a lunchbox full of pies, chicken, and sausages?
So ratlings are not typically trusted, and they're not greatly liked a lot of the time, so they're not usually provided with the tools that they need. However,
Cool,
that
but,
means
like, I
that
was
they've
hoping
taken
we'd get
upon
new
themselves
rattling
to
models.
acquire those.
Like, this is
And
cool,
whilst we're
though.
at it, why not raid the
do
officer's
like
mess?
the holiday models.
Grab
The
as
holiday
much food as
models
you
are
can.
There's a
fucking
major
commemorative
gone without his
models.
chicken dinner at somewhere. At
Cool.
some
He
point.
sat down somewhere and some chef
Come
was
on
about
now.
to get
Now we've seen what
an
rattlings
unfortunate
look like.
telling off.
Give me
It's
a
just
full
a great
rattling
miniature.
unit
Such good
in
fun.
40k now.
And yeah, it's going to be available over the holiday period, coming soon while stocks last. So get hold of that if you possibly can. Don't miss this one. It's going to be a great model to paint up. Hey, do you know what? You like rattlings.
I like rattlings.
I like rattlings. Do you want to see some more rattlings?
Oh.
Let's go.
Ask and you shall receive. Oh. Yes, tank busters. Alright. That one before looked like an Aussie rattling. One with like the broad brim hat. Something like Aussie thing.
Okay, that is Kill Team Brutal and Cunning, the new expansion for Kill Team coming real soon. Now, of course, here we are today, 5th of October, is the release date of Hivestorm. It's in the stores right now. I saw it in Warhammer just now. So if you're painting Kill Team, great. Thank you very much indeed. Carry on painting Kill Team. It's fantastic fun. And we want to see your models and your games with the hashtag new Kill Team.
Yep, there's the unit.
If you're a big
Cool.
fan of Kill Team.
Like
And if you're
both.
not, why not? But you're going to love Brutal and Cunning, the new expansion, which comes with 2 brand new kill teams
It does.
and some scenery as well. We've got to talk about this. But first of all, before we talk about the insanely cool miniatures, Alex, tell me where the action takes us. We're still on Volcus, right?
Yeah, we are indeed. So we're in the undermuzzle, which is basically under the massive ballistas in High Basilicus. And basically, so the orcs attempted to invade because
Yeah.
who doesn't want a giant gun? And they
Big jacket, right?
Aussie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Aussie
they
up the
landed
top
on
right.
the moon and they were going to prepare a little invasion
broad
force.
brim hat,
But
everything,
unsurprisingly,
beard, everything was
the
just-
Imperium went, I don't think so, and blew up the moon.
I think they were aiming
No,
for the
this
fleet,
is
but
cool.
accidentally hit the moon.
New tank
Still destroyed the fleet,
busters,
though.
Cool
Oh,
to
never mind,
see,
that's quite
like
good
a
fun.
very
Yeah, you'd assume that you killed all the
proper
orcs, but
orc unit updated.
You just
fair.
land.
So they've come down, and as
And
any mech
rattlings.
boy who's worth his dacker has basically decided that they're going to try and take this opportunity while everything's going on Volcus to basically take control of the gun.
And you know, if there's an
So
orc
this
invasion
just
taking
leaves,
place,
what,
who better to
scorchers
send
and
out
looters?
than the rattling snipers?
Oh,
You know what I
yes.
mean? It's the
Left,
people I'd go to straight
right.
away.
Right,
We've got
and
to
I
take a
guess
look at the
you
miniatures in this
storm
box
boys,
because it's the
yes,
thing
we
that
have.
is blowing all our minds. We'll
And
start
you
with the
robs.
orc faction first. This is the orc kill team, Razgor's Wreckers, who basically have brought all the rockets to the fight and like shooting them and blowing stuff up.
Well, that's it. You've got half your team is heavily kind of like melee
Yeah.
focused, and your other half is ranged focused. But unfortunately, the melee side don't particularly like the range side because they feel that these guys are taking all the glory shooting their rockets.
These are tank busters, which we've seen in 140,000 before. So if you're an orc player, you'll love to get your green hands on these as well. And they just love shooting rockets so much. They've actually got a rule in the game called tanked up, whereby if they shoot their rockets, they get to have an extra APL next turn. So they actually get literally hyped up by shooting at stuff, which is really,
There we go.
really
Is that
cool.
better? Yeah.
Should we take a look
It's
at some
just
of the
getting
miniatures,
used to it.
some of our favourites we picked out? This is the
I have
Wrecker
to say,
Boss
like, I
Knob,
will say, I do
the most
like
tooled up
seeing
orc in the kill
these
zone.
models
He's
on-
about as tough as a space marine and twice as hard, and he's come tooled up with all of his kit. He's even got a personal rocket
The white
pistol, which I
background.
love.
Does, and when
I
he's
like it
fired
when you
it,
get, like,
he's
a
got another
proper
chopper on his back.
And a huge
Easy
hammer
to
as well,
view
just for
look.
crumping heads when he runs out of rockets. He's great, this guy. The Wrecker Bomb
that
Squigs
hammer.
are
That's cool.
next up. Let's take a look at those.
Well, we saw in
There's two of them.
we saw in the Commando kill team that orcs like to bring bomb squigs, but these guys, with the penchant for explosions, have decided that they're going to bring two.
I'm all about the guy on the right who's got the rocket strapped to his back, Alex. What happens when you fire a rocket and it's strapped to a squig's back?
Well, they are red, so I think they go faster.
That's a dangerous weapon indeed. We've got the Breaker Boy Crusher to look at here. This guy's coming to battle armed with his Knuckle Busters, which not just smash enemies apart, but literally knock them off objectives and off the backsides of buildings and stuff. You can just literally push people away with them, which is
He's
great.
something a bit
One of my
different
favourite
for
things
the
about this
tank
kill
busters.
team
This
is just
one
the
here.
size of the models and
the
the
two
armour
like
in particular, because we've seen like
power
knobs and
fists,
mega
I
armour and
guess.
this kind of thing, but these guys have got this really kind of
Like
visceral,
spring-loaded rocket fists.
tacked on sort of feel to their armour.
Yeah.
They've hammered these plates in.
It's represented in the game as well by the fact that these orcs actually have a
That's
4+
right, yeah.
save, which is really nice. They're
just
they're
got 4K
really, really
with it,
tough.
haven't
And the last one we've got to look at, Alex, I
Unless-
think it's probably most of our favourites
Oh,
here. This is the Breaker
The
Boy
commemorative model is
Demolisher,
forever.
who
Hope
carries a devastating tank hammer, and you'll
the
like to
tank,
know that he's got two
the tank
modes you can
hammer.
use it with. He can just hit you with it, or he can press the
Love
big
the
red
caps.
button and he hits you with it, and the
All
rocket
the,
explodes.
like, things
Results
that
may
make tank
vary.
busters special. Tank hammer,
If you're an
the
orc
rocket,
player and you're not
the bomb squids.
pushing that button,
Yeah.
are you really an
The
orc
fact
player?
that there's even an option, really.
Yeah,
But yeah, fair.
everything
What a
that
great looking
makes
warband. They
tank
really are
busters
such cool
special
miniatures.
after them.
But
This
let's
is what
move
you
on
want to see.
to the ones
You know, this is the
that are
exact opposite
maybe
of
taking the spotlight a little.
Sanguinary
The
Guard.
Rattlings here are
The
Herc's
took away everything
Hunters,
that made them special.
a
Rattlings,
all
on the
sniper
other
team
hand,
of
that
Rattlings,
dude on the
special
right by
forces sent
himself.
out,
And that is
experts
Mr.
in
Aussie.
long range warfare, not so good at close range
These
warfare. We'll come on to that in a
are
little
awesome.
bit. And are just the coolest miniatures.
That's it. They are absolutely bristling
Oh,
with
they've got a
character.
dog.
Loads of different hats, loads of
They
different
have,
tops.
like, a
As
little
I said
French
before,
bulldog
they're not
thing.
usually given everything they need,
Chihuahua.
so they've had
They
to
have,
steal
like,
it from
a
various
buff
places. You
chihuahua.
know, these are items of acquisition.
Of course.
You can see there on the right hand side, their fixer.
That is amazing.
So the Rattlings, then again, not trusted to even have their own officers. However, you
Paprika?
do need somebody to guide everybody, to organise stuff. And so they've got a fixer. He's managed to acquire himself some Cadian-looking armour there.
Yeah, sure. I definitely wasn't. He wasn't commissioned that. He's got some medals on his chest as well. I reckon they belong to him.
He's earned them.
He's earned them for sure. I love the fact he stood there with a cup of tea with his binoculars watching from the back. Also, he's got a rule where he can direct the firepower of the rest of the squad, and if he shouts at something to die from a long range, it's almost certainly going to get shot. The next model we've got here is not just my favourite pun of the group, but also one of my favourite miniatures. This is the Big Shot Look at this guy. Now, snipers in Kill Team are notoriously good at taking big guns, but this might be the biggest of them all. This gun is called a tank stopper rifle. There ain't no tanks in Kill Team that we know of, so it's a bit overkill, but even a Space Marine's in trouble when he gets shot by this thing. But that's not the best thing about the model. Right?
No, this is definitely my favourite thing. So not only is it a beautiful model, but this rifle has been, let's say, adjusted to have a significantly larger power pack attached to it. But atop that power pack, due to the heat coming off it, he's conveniently heating up a mug of tea and a grilled cheese sandwich.
Look, you've got to have something to do in between reloads, right?
Yeah.
Let's nibble away on a grilled cheese sandwich. These great little details like this all over the Kill Team are just fantastic. And right, let's move on to probably the star of the show. This is everyone's favourite boyo. This is the rattling battle mutt.
He's such a grumpy boy.
He's the most determined of Canids there ever was. If you see that stare, you just need to run away across the kill zone, don't you? What a cool looking model.
Now, he's got a special rule, doesn't he?
He has. Now, I mentioned before that the rattlings are quite long-range specialists and not quite good at close range. Now, they've actually got a faction rule called Scarper, whereas if the enemy come towards you, they can just run away. Imagine a Night Lord or Mandrakes coming towards these little rattlings while they're eating a grilled cheese and having a cup of tea. They don't want to be there. They run away. And the Battle Mutt has got an extra special rule here where he shouts or barks a warning cry, and all the rattlings around him just scarper for their shadows and get out of the danger. So he's a good little boy that saves the rest of the team. What a hero.
Absolute champion.
Well, absolutely brilliant. So there's not just all in the Kill Team box. Those two Kill Teams are brilliant, but it also comes with that really cool scenery before saw as well. This is the bunker that comes with Brutal and Cunning, which is a great scenery piece for your Kill Team collection, but also for your 40k collection. And there's a specific game style in there as well, Alex, that lets you have bunker-style missions where one Kill Team is defending the bunker and one Kill Team is designed to smash through the walls. Now, can you guess which in the box is designed for which?
I'm going to guess that the Orcs are going to make the calm and sensible decision to defend. No, they're going to destroy it.
Smashing the walls down for sure. So there we go. That is Kill Team Brutal and Cunning, which is coming very soon. Now, speaking of Kill Team and rattlings, remember that model we showed you earlier on?
Yes, provisionally prepared.
That's the one.
Yes.
What's exciting here is the designers for Kill Team have actually written a special mission for that miniature here for your games of Kill Team, where these two are trying to steal the food and lunch pack in the middle of the kill zone while a battle rages on around them. So if you wanted a gaming reason to buy that miniature, there's another one on top as well, and that's just really cool. Right, on to something else.
Death Watch. Okay. Please be from our Death Watch model. Oh.
That looks great.
That is amazing.
That looks really great.
And if you like what you've just seen, at the end of the stream, you can go to warhammertv.com and you can see the entirety of the short.
I'll be doing that straight away after this for sure. Right. Do you know what? I think that might be everything we've got to show. It has been a seriously wonderful stream. We've seen some fantastic stuff. Take us through what we've seen again.
So we've seen Warhammer Underworlds.
Yep.
We've been to the Mortal Realms.
Yep.
Seen a bit of 40k with those battle forces.
Yeah, we saw it.
We've seen Kill Team at the end there.
That's
and
right.
Legions Imperialis.
Of course, not to mention we saw Galmaraz
Yes.
itself actually being forged, and of course all those cool toys in between as well. It's just been a wonderful set of previews. Thank you so much. And thank you all for watching as well and joining us on Warhammer Day. I really do hope you've been painting along perhaps while you've been watching. You're going to go home and paint some of those Kill Team miniatures?
I think so.
I've got Zikit's tunnel pack on my painting desk waiting to be painted quite soon. Of course, if you want to see more of the stuff you've just seen and you want to find out more about what you've seen, there's more pictures and way more information as well right now over on the Warhammer Community website. So head over there. The next preview, Alex, the next preview is going to be in November.
Okay.
When we're heading to the World Championships and the Grand Narrative from America.
Indeed.
There will be a preview coming there as well, so do make sure you're watching out for that one. But that's all from us for now. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you everyone in the chat. Notley, Raf, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, sir. And we'll see you guys next time.
Alrighty, well, that was the reveal show. Okay, we're gonna lose. Oh. there was a little teaser at the end there. Did you just see that teaser? Emperor's Children are coming. Like, yeah, it just seemed... I think we got spoiled. We've been spoiled on these reveals, and the fact I think they're doing too many of them now. I would rather have like 2 of these a year and have them absolutely jam-packed than these ones that showed nothing or like one thing. You know what I mean? Like November's the next one, so there's one like next month. Either you've got to have something to show every month, but yeah. Karen Commissar, new Slaves to Darkness. I think you misunderstand what the word new means, because there was certainly none of that. Give me a sec, we'll just go back to the painting. Alrighty, so yeah. Yeah, so the Slaves to Darkness box. I do like the fact we are going to get more spearheads. Obviously, I think we're going to see 2 spearheads in every book. The one we've got, and get a new one as well. We've obviously, technically, we've got 2 Skaven, we've got 2 Stormcuts, because we have the starter set ones plus the spearhead boxes. And so this is going to be cool. Like, that's going to be something we're going to see, is we're going to see a spearhead come out. Now, that's not going to be new models most of the time, I would say. Which is interesting. But it does give us like a release. But the GBS parts, it lets them release stuff without actually having to release stuff. If that makes sense. But yeah, it's definitely been a thing. So, what were your overall thoughts? I think there wasn't an awful lot. The commemorative Christmas miniature was really cool. I like that they're going to do what Parabellum have been doing when they do Christmas miniatures. They bring out cool scenarios to do with those miniatures. But yeah, Kill Team was definitely the coolest release. I do like the Underworld stuff. I thought that was really cool, but I'm interested to see what Underworlds is going to look like in this new format. It's annoying that I feel like Underworlds is going to go to a proper rotation. The new like ability things of warbands is going to be interesting. I don't like the update of the Underworlds cards. Like, I like the artwork. The just pictures and models is meh. Like, the artwork was one of the coolest things about Underworlds. Like, I look at Zondara's Gravebreakers as a perfect example of the artwork. The artwork on those cards is amazing, because in all the different cards for Zondara, for those who don't know the story, she's like her lover is Fellain, the werewolf in the warband, and she's essentially trying to cure him, and as she does, she goes further and further down the path of like necromancy and death magic, and also becomes more like haggard and lifeless. But the cards, the artwork on them, some of them have her as like beautiful, and some of them have her as starting to degrade. Some of them have her as really withered, and sort of like strained and all that. And it was a really cool thing to see throughout the deck of all these artwork of Zondara at different times down the path of trying to save Fellain. And you won't get that sort of coolness. You won't get that sort of story being able to tell with the artwork. To me, taking pictures instead of having artwork on the cards seems like a cost-cutting measure rather than a actual design idea they wanted to do. They're now not having to pay an artist, and can just take pictures of the miniatures they already own. But yeah, the cards look meh. Like, don't like the new look of the cards. especially the fighter cards, look really, really bland and boring. But it'll be interesting to see how the game plays. I like the warbands. I like the Skaven warband. I do like the Stormcast warband. I thought that was cool. Just not a fan of the cards. The lack of artwork is really, really depressing. I mean, that's one of the biggest things in card games. Like, in any card game, it is seeing the artwork of the card game. Like, so many times I've played, like, Magic when I was younger, and a deck was inspired by a piece of art I saw on a card. So, with that though, we are going to end up. I've got to go sort out my daughter, who has kindly popped on stream a few times now. So, with that said, thank you all for coming, watching, hobbying, and hanging out, and we will catch you all